So hopefully I can join these two videos together. So we keep twisting there, and we're trying to get to about 8 inches. And as you can see, as we've twisted down, this is tapered down and it's getting thinner and thinner to the point where this main string will actually be smaller than our loop, because on our loop I tend to put basically the equivalent of one bundle in my pad. So if I'm making a 16 strand string, I'll do 4 yellow and 4 green. Now I do find with the skinny materials that I need to pad more than one bundle, like 1.5. So then these clips, or a bulldog clip, are super handy. I just clamp one on here, and all that's doing is stopping that from untwisting. So now what you need to do is you have to get this all untwisted, and this is why. So there's a bit of wax here, but my wax stops about there, and you just, whatever method works for you, you need to get all the twists out, because what we're doing is we're basically resetting this to 0, and then we're going to put back twists in, and the back twists are what counteract when we do the other eye here in a minute, and allow us to have a nice flat string when we're done. And I guarantee you, if you're new to this, you're going to make mistakes, but just try to remember what you did so that you can go back, because if you did your back twists the wrong way, you'll learn very quickly. So this is what I call spaghetti. So we want this to all be like free-form spaghetti, and then it's really important to pull right from the eye end down. And now we start to the repeat. We're 16 to 18 inches from the other end, and put lots of wax on. Get this really well waxed up. So it's nice and stiff. Rubbing it in your hand or with a strip of leather works well. And we come down to our board, and then 10 5/8 is the key, and then 8 5/8 is the second one. And then here's our pad. This is just a repeat of the other end. We fold it in half to find the center. It goes on the 8 5/8 dot. I come down that, and then lots of wax, smooth it out, get it stiff. So now this is the critical step here. So we're gonna do our back twist. So it's pretty simple. We've just folded over a pen, and then for me, I roll away after I spaghetti. So that's what works for me. So you should write down what you do, so that if you're different, and you'll know because your string won't look nice when you're done, then you can go back, pull it all apart, and start over again. So I'm 30. So that's 30, and then what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to chase the twists that way, down towards the clip, so that I've got nice and smooth working room. So I get them down. The part that matters is the end here. We're well waxed up. So that's the first side done, and usually you can just set it aside, and it's not a problem. So now we've got a spaghetti the other side, and you'll just find that you twist it, you pull it out, and like I said, everyone will find their own way to do this, but they're all cut ends, so you can be somewhat aggressive, because they will all pop out. It's not like there's a loop in there, but if there's a knot or a kink, you really have to get it out. So that's nicely spaghettied there. So same thing, really important to come back to the source, right to the base loop, and pull it down, because errors in here will show up after we've put the next loop in. So 16 to 18 inches, and then lots of wax. So you should be getting these memorized by now. So 10 and 5/8, 8 and 5/8. That makes a 3-inch loop. So we take our pad, which is half of 1 strand or more, but you'll have to play with that a bit. We put it on the 8 and 5/8 dot halfway, which marks the center of our loop, and then we wax it in. Both directions. Okay, now we have to put the back twists in. One, two, three. So 30, and then you've got to chase the twists down, and that's a really key step. So chase the twists down, because we're really only working with the last 12, 14 inches here. So now everything's the same as we did on the first loop. What I like to do, I didn't show you with the spaghetti, I just like to make sure everything's nice and lined up. And then we'll check our dots, 10 and 5/8, we cross them over, and then twist towards and roll away. Twist towards, roll away. And we're after, you want to be doing this where it's staying in like an X configuration, because that's how you get that nice even barber pole. And right now all the twists in the main body of the string, they're just trapped there because we're working on the end of the loop. But when we come and after we get our 3 inches of barber pole and we flip it over and we start twisting on the other side, that's where when we put the twists in, we take out the back twists, and that's where your directions need to be consistent, or you'll quickly see that you made a mistake. And it's also the consistency of your twists when you're making it here are really important, because they determine your back twist. So there we're at 3 inches, and just as before, I fold down to have a color match, and then get things there. The green's a little separated, so just lay a bit more wax on here. Okay. So same as everything. Twist towards and roll away. And this first half to an inch, this is the thickest part of the whole string and where the padding is. But particularly on a recurve, this is the area that's actually slapping up against the bow, and it makes it quiet. So it's okay to let these, you see how they're starting to come out, twist towards, roll away. And if you're doing it backwards, then you've just got to compensate for it and make sure that you're okay. You're going to burn a couple of strings learning, but try and keep notes. The better your notes are, the better your measurements, the better the accuracy. That's where you get your repeatability for string length, and stops the frustration. And I'm Canadian, so I get to pay 35-40% extra on everything I get from the States, plus shipping. So the cost of these materials do add up pretty quickly. But if you're starting out, get some B55 or some Dacron. It's around $10 American per spool. You get quite a bit on the spool, and you can make a lot of strings. The only downside to Dacron, which might not be a downside if you've got an older bow, is it does stretch, so you've got to account for that and that break-in period. So I'm at 6.5 inches here. We're about 1.5 inches away from seeing if everything I did turned out, or if I foobarred and I recorded it so that everyone can see. So you can see, or maybe you can't, it's starting to get thin down here, down to our finished string size. And you want to keep that nice even barber pole. There, one more twist. There, we're at 8 inches. Now if we did everything correctly, we take our clip off, and I like to sort of stick a finger in the strings to keep them separated. Things should be even, which they are. And now we can twist like so. And then what I do is I attach this to a hook, and I run tons of wax down it on either side, and then I burnish it with a piece of leather before I serve it. But there's a Flemish twist string, done the Ryan Sampe method. I really hope he puts that video back up, but if he doesn't, maybe this will help. Thank you.